Mum. Please welcome Alison.
I lived for 36 years in South Africa, and I decided that I was going to come back to the UK to live permanently. Before I left, I wanted to have one last holiday in Africa with my children, Stephanie and Benjamin, and we decided that we were going to go to Mozambique. The only time that we could all three of us get together was February, which is the hottest month of the year, and we were going to be leaving a very hot country for a very, very hot country. We had a discussion over what vehicle we were going to take, and in the end we decided to take Stephanie's bucking. You'll need a translation here. It means pickup truck, and roughly translated it actually means container, and we were going to need a container. Her bucky had a canopy on the back and it was going to be just right. No air conditioner. We decided that we were going to have to leave very, very early in the morning to take the journey to the border, which is about 400 miles, and get that journey out of the way before the heat reduced us to oily puddles. What's that I hear you saying? Where's their father in this family expedition? Oh, you mean that mean, nasty, acrimonious man that I divorced 10 years ago? Well, actually, to give him his due, he does have some good points. He is a walking encyclopedia. He can fix anything, and he's a really good car mechanic. So, Stephanie arrives on the Saturday morning and we go shopping for all the things that we need to go to a third world country, including a whole load of 10-litre bottles of water, and there were lots of them. We get everything done, we're sorted out, and we set the alarm clock and we go to bed. About 12 o'clock, Benjamin arrives, straight from work, exhausted, and just goes to sleep. So the next morning, Stephanie and I, we're up, we're ready, and we're ready to pack. Come on, Ben! Get up, Ben! He snores on. I have never known somebody that can sleep through anything. So Stephanie and I get going. So we take the paddle skis, we put them on the roof, and we tie them down. We get all the camping equipment, and we load it into the bucky. We take the cooking equipment, the food, the cooler boxes, all those bottles of water, bits and bobs, a brick for the back wheel, and all the bedding, and finally whip the last of the bedding off Benjamin, put that in, and muscle him down the stairs, and we're ready to go. Okay, it isn't first light anymore, but the sun's only peeping through the trees. It's still cool, we're well happy. In he jumps, Stephanie and I jump in the front, and she turns the key. Click. We look at each other. She turns the key again. Click. I look at her and I say, the Bendix is stuck. Do you know that look when people have no idea what you're saying? So I look at her and I speak to her like a 3-year-old, or she was once. And I say, okay, there's a starter motor, it's got a spindle up the middle, it's got a cog that spins around. The spindle spins, it flies the cog up the top, it turns the engine, it disengages, and it slides back down to the bottom of the starter motor. It's got stuck at the top. She looks at me. We've got to hit it really hard with a hammer. Ben! Ben crawls out the back. Stephanie and I get all the tools out from behind the driver's seat. We give him a hammer and he crawls underneath, and we are waiting for this resounding bang. Clunk, 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 clunk. He sticks his head out from underneath. He says, there's only about 3 inches between the floor and the starter. I can't get a swing. Oh, what do we do now? We could call the AA. It's really early on a Sunday morning. They might get there by lunchtime. They may never arrive at all. This is Africa. So we stand there looking at each other, and eventually I say what's on everybody's mind. We're going to have to phone your father. Stephanie says, I'm not asking him for anything. And Ben says, I'm not speaking to him. Give me a phone. this problem? Lovely, thank you. Okay, this is what we do. There's 3 bolts, we take the starter motor off, there's a hole in it, we squirt some WD-40 in it, we poke it with a screwdriver, spin it round, it'll be fine. So the kids go to get the starter motor off, and I go to the shed to get the WD-40. And the key won't even fit in the padlock, let alone turn it. And then I remember that my absent tenant changed the lock. I go upstairs and I have a Tupperware container with all the old keys that I've collected over 30 years. And I go and I try every single key in the lock. None of them fit. I go to Stephanie and I say, none of them fit. And she looks at me like I'm the 3-year-old. Oh, don't be stupid. And she tries them all again. You know what? None of them fit in. I told you so. By now, the sun is over the top of the trees and it's starting to get warm. Then I have a eureka moment. The bolt croppers! Well, doesn't every self-respecting woman have a pair of 36-inch bolt croppers? Up we go again, into the roof. All this stuff comes out, out, now. No bolt croppers. Oh dear. In the toolbox. Out comes all the toolbox. There are the bolt croppers, right at the very bottom. Down we go again. The bolt comes off as easy as pie. This is scary. There's the WD-40. Squirt it in the hole. Sort it out. It's all great. Put it back on the car. Turn the engine. It's like clockwork. It all runs. We pack all the tools back. We wash our hands. We clean up. We're getting rather hot and sweaty here. And finally, we're about ready to go. And the sun is right overhead. It is throwing down the heat. We are cooking. It's actually lunchtime. So much